you doing?
Morning, morning.
Morning.
Good to see you. There he is. How you doing, Jay? This is President Ken Franklin. I just cast my vote regarding the preliminary strike action that we're doing today. I hope we have a great turnout. Looking forward to the members' participation today.
The insurance that we're paying into is not really covering anything. You go to the doctor, before you even get home, you got a bill in the mail. I can't blame Cigna, is what the authority bought, but they need to do better as it relates to coverage for our employees. Their abuse of FMLA, it just seems as though the authority understands that FMLA is a federal law, and to fight them, you need, an individual needs a whole lot of money. It takes about $10,000 just to get started on an FMLA claim. Attorneys don't do FMLA on contingencies. You have to pay a hefty retainer and then pay for depositions and filings and all of that. And CTA is taking advantage of that, and they're abusing individuals' rights with this FMLA.
My name is Daryl Gatewood, and I think that we deserve a decent contract. I think we have some very good workers here at CTA, and we try to do our job as professionally as possible. And I think the powers that be are playing the game, and it's not right. It's not fair to the people.
One of the subjects that's promoting this solidarity event of taking a preliminary strike today is the factor of safety. The trainmen, extra board trainmen are working schedules that are very long and possibly putting the public in unsafe circumstances. Being on the clock 12 or 13 hours, that hinders your rest and produces an operator that maybe shouldn't be operating, and they're not even being paid for it. So that's one of the subjects that's producing this solidarity vote today, a preliminary strike vote, to draw attention and get us a better response from the company at the table.
We're taking a preliminary strike vote, and it's basically to measure the strength of our union at this current state right now. We're dealing with a lot of issues as far as contract negotiations and trying to build the solidarity amongst the union. We just want to know where we stand and how much work we need to do, how much, where we at, how strong are we, our weaknesses, our strengths, and just get an idea of where we're at. There's been an abundant amount of part-timers coming onto the property, and the more part-timers, the less full-timers. So there's been a constant shift in the amount of employees that are able to pay into the pension fund and reap the benefits of being a full-time employee. With more part-timers, it's like you're phasing out full-time work. And the turnover rate is, turtle-like. It's not really effective. I think one of the big things will be employee fatigue. A lot of our employees are on the property for a long time, and we're not getting paid for all the hours we're responsible to the company. So if you're here 13 hours, 12, 13 hours every day, and that's your shift Monday through Friday, at some point your body is drained. So, I'm constantly coming to work tired, and of course when you're tired, you can't work to the best of your ability. So, that affects the public because we're responsible for your safety. And not only that, it affects the company because we're providing that service for you. But instead of us getting proper rest that we need or getting the time that we need to recuperate and rejuvenate our bodies, we're forced to come back and do the same thing, and everyone knows work is work. You do the same job that you do every day, but at what point do you think about the quality of life for your employees? No one wants to beg for, a good health insurance. No one wants to beg for a quality wage. No one wants to sit here and be subjective to a mentality where I'm worth nothing. You treat me like I'm nothing, but yet I provide this great service for you. And it's like we are your backbone. We move this city. We take care of this city. Without your employees, the city doesn't function. Without us being happy and being able to come to work, they can't do what they need to do. So having the public on our side is definitely a big plus. Without the public, it's hard to convey the message that we're trying to, convey, where we stand on our importance to CTA. In the future, if our criteria is met and we want to hold a strike vote, an authorization for a strike vote, and if it comes down to that, that's what we're willing to stand on.
The reason for the tent and everything is we've been without a contract for approximately about 18 months, and then what is being offered to us really don't go with us for what we are doing, and we really don't want the citizens of Chicago and the riders to think that we just striking is all about money, but it's about working conditions and about being fair and everything, and realizing that we have a job to do, which is to provide affordable service, but also we have to be respected for what we are doing and be paid for what we are doing, and also let the citizens know that we are valuable. We're just not out here just to be out here, and this is to get a viewpoint from our co-workers. How do they feel about what's going on and their viewpoint, that we are working without a contract, and then what they are offering up is not really coming up to what we give back to the city.
I came to vote and support President Franklin, also CTA and 308 union members. I think we need to be doing something is right for employees. We do a lot of the us time, family time to this company, and I think we need the company to do something, or let us doing something about, progress for like employees. And the work what I do is like a switchman. I am a yard leader for 4 years, and I in charge of the forest parts of our from the yard. I think it's time to do change. Thank you.
Honestly, I've been with the company. It'll be 10 years this September, and every time we've gotten an increase or raise, as you call it, it seems whether it's the CTA or the city of Chicago's found a reason to take that from us as far as increasing pension. Our health care wants to go up a huge amount. And honestly, it's not fair when you have all the politicians, the aldermen making a great deal, and yet we're supposed to be the middle class, and we're responsible for keeping the people of Chicago safe, and yet you're still treating us like peasants, I guess you call it. So I feel just like the teachers did last year, we need to come together and show the strength in us and view our opinions on that. If the average person would to see how, I guess CTA not does business, but we use primitive ways even to repair trains, like old tools, old technology. It's 2017, and we're way behind in even technology. You know, when our tools break, we're expected to go out of our own pocket to replace those, and we're usually not reimbursed. And like when it's 110 in our shops, we don't have AC. We may have 2 fans for the entire shop, and there's usually 4 to 6 tracks in a whole shop, and there's well over 20 employees. Honestly, and they try to give us a code car, but it's not the most accurate way. You know, and we have a lot of elderly employees as well, and I don't want to be treated like that when I get that age.
I just feel like the transit system doesn't really treat our union fairly, and they don't. We've been in contract negotiations for a while, and to not listen to anything is kind of absurd. It just feels like they disrespect us and they don't believe in us in any way, and that's why I'm down here to vote. I do feel it's necessary for the union to participate in getting a strike motion moved forward to, because a lot of people at work, we work crazy hours and we never get an opportunity to be at union meetings and such like that, because we work midnights. We might not get off till 2, 4 in the morning. So sometimes it takes other union members to represent us while we do the jobs we're all supposed to do. I feel like a strike would be a great weapon for us, because the city kind of depends on CTA as a whole, as a transit and as a bus system to move everybody around. And if we are all together on that, we could really show that we can get things done. Together we move the city around, and everybody has to get to work, everybody has to get somewhere. And I feel like us together, we could really get some things done. At least get our management to listen to us, to hear us out on things instead of just ignoring the things that we ask for or things we suggest.
We had a wildcat strike in the year 1979. It started on the Sunday and lasted till, I think we went off strike that Wednesday. And that affected service tremendously in '79. Like, this was the rail service at that time, and it really affected a lot of passengers, because if we went on strike that Sunday night, so that it really affected the Monday mornings way of people's getting to work and everything like that. It really put a hold on a lot of different things.
The reason why I'm out here voting is because of the way that we're treated at CTA, the way that management treat us, the way we don't get any vacation, no sick time. I'm voting, I'm here because of the pay that we've been getting. We have not had a contract in 2 years. Is ridiculous. The way that the bathrooms and the kiosks look, they're really we shouldn't have to work in this kind of condition, you know. We don't have any, it seems like the CSAs don't have any kind of rights, you know. We're part-time, you know. There's so many, to me, I think there's more part-timers than there are full-timers, you know. And I think that's the reason why a lot of people are out here voting, because it's ridiculous the way they won't turn us over to be full-time. I've been here 4 years. You know, that's ridiculous. I don't even make enough money to pay my bills.
It's a preliminary strike vote to get the gauge the membership's willingness for the first phase if we do have to strike. This is the first phase to gauge the support that we have for this. Well, you have to get the membership's pulse. You have to know that you have the body support of the membership to show unity, and everyone's watching. From 241 to the teachers, everyone, from the mayor to CTA's president, everyone's watching to see the unity, and do we have the numbers to move forward if we need to let them know that we're not standing for an unfair contract. We're going on, I'm not specific on the years, like 3 years. We're going into not having a contract, and the proposal that the authority asks for, the be able to privatize and part-timers unlimited without a clear path to full-time employment is unreasonable and unfair. Well, first of all, you need to have a clear path to full-time employment when you're dealing with part-timers. You just can't have an open-ended where they can have the same amount of personnel doing pretty much basically the same work for less pay. You know, one of the first pieces of legislation that Barack Obama had passed was the Liddy Ledbetter Act, which was equal pay for equal work. That was for women, but it's basically uniform, equal pay for equal work. A CSA doing pretty much the same job as a CSR and getting half of what they're getting, a third of what they're getting in pay. Part-time motormen doing what full-time operators are doing, and they're getting a third of the pay. That's unfair. And the CTA doesn't create the benefits for them. People need a clear path to employment, full-time employment, not part-time. The hours are there for them to work, so make them full-time. First, before you get to the public, you first must do what Mr. Ken Franklin, President Ken Franklin's doing, is educate the members. That's the most important things, because the members are the ones that's with the public. Because the pastors are going to come to the members, and the members should have a reasonable explanation of logical of why they're doing what they're doing, or attempting to do what they're doing. The impact is monumentous. This is enormous. I mean, it's like hasn't been done in, what, 20, 30 years? And they haven't strike before? Mr. President Franklin are doing great things that no other president before him has done before, as far as getting a building. We used to rent, they used to pay $9,000 a month to lease a building, plus $2,000 a month in parking. Now we have our own building. That's the rent, the mortgage is less than $3,000, and they don't have to pay that. So you have to move forward. You can't be afraid of it. Everyone get out and voice your opinion. Go out here and voice it, whether it's a yes or a no, but you have to come out and support. Whether you with it, for it, or against it, that's important. What people shouldn't do is be afraid of current administration, as far as we have personnel in the executive office who's railing against this. We have past presidents that's railing against this on social media. Don't let them fool you. Don't let them scare you. Come out here and voice your opinion. Come out here and let your voice be heard. Unity in numbers. If we don't stand for something, we will fall for anything.